Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? Good morning, and how are you doing? I apologize, first of all, for always having the same scenery showing, but this is my private space, my restful space, a space where I can just come and sit and relax. When I was in my room, lying across the bed with the air conditioning on, and I just started thinking about my late mate, Bill. And some have said to me, why do you talk so much about Bill, about your life? And well, that's what I know. But one of the reasons I'm sharing this today, I was thinking about the times when we would fight. You know, our verbal gymnastics, our debates. And I was one who had a tendency, really, I did. I would use a lot of profanity. Not cursing him, but just using profanity during our verbal debate. And a couple of times he very calmly said to me, I don't talk to you that way. And I said, well, I'm not cursing you. He said, but I don't even use that kind of language when we're talking or when we're having a debate or we're having a discussion or we're having a disagreement. He said, I don't talk to you that way. And I would appreciate if you didn't do that. And you know what? I heard him. It was a way in which he said it. I looked at him and I could tell he was, I don't want to say hurt, um, maybe disappointed in the way I was acting. And you know what? I stopped. And it wasn't difficult to do at all. I stopped. And I also stopped having to be that person who had to have the last word or going word for word for word for word when the argument could have been over. I got to the place I would just be quiet and listen. Not meaning that I always agreed, but I just stopped because I'd be the one really upset because after he was finished, he was finished. And so many times I would try and pout, but I cannot pout. I cannot, go around not talking. That's just not me. But I would try. And he would say to me sometimes, girl, what is wrong with you? And rather than me saying, as many of us can, ain't nothing wrong with me, I didn't do that. I would just look at him, and it was always just something about the way he looked at me, and I would walk over and give him a little peck on the cheek or pat him on the butt to let him know everything was really okay. I would give anything, anything. If I could walk over to him right now and give him a peck on the cheek or pat him on the butt. So what I'm saying to you, if you have a mate, a partner, you just don't know how much, or maybe you do, but you need to remind yourself of how much that person means to you. And I'm assuming that person means a lot to you if you're with them. It's not enough to always let the other person know. Sometimes you need to remind yourself. There are people who probably see you and your partner together sometimes, and not out of envy or jealousy, but you don't know how much they would like to have what you seem to have, okay? This is one of those days, and it happens. It's one of those days when I just really miss him and I'm thinking about him. And the other day I was having a conversation with a young man who speaks English very well, and we were just talking, and we've talked many, many times since I've been here. And he asked me, he said, Miss Joy, do you think that you would ever have another partner, another mate? And I said to him, I don't know. I can't imagine having anyone else, not an intimate partner, in my life. You see, it took Bill and I 20 years. Bill I knew, probably from the time I was 18. But at that time, it just wasn't the time for us. He didn't have time to be bothered with a little country girl like me. He was very nice to me and he liked me, but he got on with his life. And eventually I would get on with my life. And it took us 20 years and other mates before we finally said, you know what? there may just be something here. And there was, and it lasted for 35 years. And I'm forever grateful for having known that. So today, while I'm sitting outside, and I always look at this beautiful sky, the sky just amazes me. And I'm giving thanks for having had that type of experience, to have known that in my life. So, as far as having someone else in my life, I don't know. If it's meant to be, it will be. I'm not looking for anything. Somebody say, well, you should even be thinking about that because it's so new. Well, if I was 40 or 45 years old, I say, oh yeah, well, I can afford to mourn for a year, 2 years, or 3 years. But at my age, I don't have that kind of time. I don't. So I guess what I'm saying is I miss having a partner. Don't mean sexual. Don't mean sexual at all. There's so much more to a relationship than just sex. But just that person, that person that is willing to understand you. They don't have to, but they're willing to. That person you can go to the theater or sit very quietly and look at a movie, or go to lunch or to dinner or to breakfast, or make you breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Of course, you can return that courtesy as well. I just don't know. We have no way of knowing what the future holds. We don't. But I certainly do remember what my past has held for me. So, be specific when you pray for it, okay? Ask for it. I was looking at Viola Davis, who was on Jennifer Hudson's show, and she was saying, she told the Lord, I haven't, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, I haven't talked with you in a while, but let me tell you what I want. I want a man. I want a big, tall, black man. I want him to be a Southern man. I want him to love the Lord. And she just laid out her specifications of what she wanted. And she met that person. See, you just can't ask me, I want a man or I want a woman in my life. You can't just say that. You got to be specific. What kind of man, what kind of woman do you want? Be specific. Put it out there, pray about it, ask for it, and receive it, okay? So, everyone, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being my listening therapist this morning. And take care of yourselves, be kind, and be kind to each other, okay? This is a busy senior. Check it out. I will see you soon. Oh, yes, please. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you tap that notification bell, you'll be notified anytime I put a video out, okay? All right, peace and blessings to you all.